Yes, people, and welcome back to We Are the South Stand. You know, all the usual stuff. Make sure you are liking and subscribing. Road to 10K. Myself and Big Steve, we want to get there by Christmas, ideally sooner. So please, please, please make sure you are smashing that like button and subscribing to We Are the South Stand, your number one place for all Manchester City news and gossip from the fans and for the fans. Right then, another day and another busy day for Manchester City. Actually, firstly, apologies earlier on, the stream earlier on. I was in a very ratty mood. I wasn't feeling too good, and I ended it really early. I was really, really dehydrated. Feeling a little bit better now. But we have some news, people, so I had to go live, or had to do a pre-record, shall I say. Massive news, as you can see next to me. And we're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it. It is a goalkeeper that I know a lot of the fan base have been very keen on. Absolutely clutch goalkeeper in the Champions League, penalty saver, absolute monster, PSG's Donnarumma. Now, for those of you that don't know, people will be saying, why is Donnarumma leaving PSG? Well, PSG ultimately put a new contract on the table in front of him. He wanted more money, refused to sign it. So guess what? They went out and bought a new goalkeeper. And he's been frozen out now. He's literally been frozen out. There's been rumours linking us to him, but none like this. It's come out from the main man himself, Fabrizio Romano. Manchester City make contact with PSG to ask for Donnarumma deal conditions. Current PSG request around 50 million, deemed too high, and deal would only be possible if Ederson leaves. Chelsea are not in the race. Right. Now, notice what it says there. Deal would only be possible if Ederson leaves. Now, conveniently, the same journalist, Galatasaray have made direct approach with Manchester City for Ederson as main target at goalkeeper. Donnarumma option never seen as concrete with Galatasaray focus on Ederson deal. They know Ederson is a lot less. He's on about 90k a week at City, so they could give him 150, and they know that the fee will be a lot smaller for Ederson than it would be for Donnarumma. By the way, I think you will probably get Donnarumma for more like 25 million, 25, 30 million from PSG. However, we then move on to even more tweets. Man City have made contact with PSG to ask for conditions for a deal of Gianluigi Donnarumma. The French club's current request is around 50 million, deemed too high, as said before. Man City have started discussions with the entourage of Donnarumma, who is appreciated by Pep Guardiola. An agreement will not be a problem since the player is very interested. Listen, of course he is. He's currently being linked with Manchester United, right? Why would he possibly want to leave PSG to go to Manchester United? Why would he want to leave a team that have just won the Champions League to go to a team that are not even in the Europa League conference, right? Furthermore, I really, really doubt if Man United can afford the wages that he wants. Can Manchester City? Yes, we can. But let's look at it, people. Now, firstly, Fabrizio Romano, for me, whenever he drops something, I listen, right? However, I do also know that he has come out before and said that sometimes players contact him, agents contact him. We know that right now, Donnarumma has been frozen out. He is desperately looking for a move. I think he has too much ambition to go to Saudi. Galatasaray, realistically, again, with ambition is questionable. But we do also know that, look, he is driven by money. Now, that's where I am. Would I like him? Would I take him? Listen, I'm going to be very clear. It is not my money. I do not care how much money this football club spends within reason, right? Do I want to be the best? Do I want to win the league again? Yes, I want to win the league again. More importantly, I do not want Liverpool to retain any sort of trophies. Now, he's a clutch goalkeeper. So would I take him? No. Would I love to have him and James Trafford both at Manchester City? Yeah, I would. Do you know what? One's great with his feet, one not so. One's absolutely clutch in big games. One of them, we don't know how good he is in big games at this point. James Trafford, for me, I'm a big James Trafford fan, but it is unproven. We haven't seen him in Europe yet. Have we even seen him play for England yet? I would imagine he probably has got some sort of cap for England. But it's one we can't turn down. But I just don't know if there's legs to this. Now, Fabrizio's tweeting it, which makes me think it's going to happen. And it seems to be moving at a very, very fast pace, by the way. Very fast pace indeed. So must have legs to it. But let me take you back to this. And this is a bit that confuses me. James Trafford has come to Manchester City, right? Saying that he wants to be number one. Now, he had other options on the table. He could have gone to Newcastle United, right? They do have Champions League football. He would have been their number one, right? He would have been their number one. Now, people would say be battling it out with Pope. He wouldn't. We know from last season that Newcastle are ready to move on from Pope. This confuses me a little bit as far as that. Would James Trafford have come to Manchester City if he thought Donnarumma was going to be there at the same time? I'm really not sure. Now, look at this from Pep Guardiola. It was an opportunity. We've known from a long time that will be one of the best British keepers for the next 10 years. He made an incredible season with Burnley. We had the chance to buy back, and we didn't miss the opportunity to have him with us. We are really pleased. Now, how pleased does Pep sound in that? Opportunity. The word opportunity, and when you think about the actual fee that we paid for James Trafford, think once you look at, how much we sold him for initially, I think it's round about 15 million, right? For, as Pep says, the next England goalkeeper for the next 10 years. Is this a flip? Is James Trafford a flip? Does James Trafford seem like the type of character that you think would be up for being used as a flip? Do you think that Manchester City would pull the wool over someone that's come through the academy's eyes, someone that's gone and now come back? Furthermore, they've given him the number one shirt, right? They have given him the number one shirt. Now, if we get Donnarumma, I believe Donnarumma is about 26 years old, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. What does that mean for James Trafford? Because for me, that means that for the next 5 years, James Trafford is going to be back up to Donnarumma, right? Do you think James Trafford would join a club? And I'm asking questions. People, the comments, they're down below. Get involved. I want to hear what you think. Do you want Donnarumma? Do you have faith in James Trafford? Do you want both of them? Furthermore, by the way, Ederson. So the news is, as I said, Galatasaray in for Ederson. Let's break this down quickly. We know Galatasaray are in for Ederson. But we also know that they were offering too low. With the Savio thing, is that now why we're looking at another keeper? We've got that extra money there. What does that mean as far as with Rodrygo? Because we've seen this morning that Manchester City have contacted Rodrygo as well, by the way. So, and the Savio thing, the news on that is that at this point, there's no deal going on. However, they've only put one bid in. City have said, as far as we're concerned, case closed, rejected. But with Daniel Levy, that is what you do. You'd walk away and say, come back with another bid and let's see if we can reopen. So where are you with this, people? Like I said, I think there's legs to it. I do. I just think there's a lot of moving parts. And I also think there's a lot of question marks. What's James Trafford thinking right now? I guess City haven't released a statement yet. Will they release a statement? The one thing I can say is to everyone out there that gives me information, and I appreciate every single bit of information. There's a lot of guys that I know they get good information, right? Very good information. And they've been telling me, look, we're not going in for anyone else. There's not going to be anyone coming in. And I have always said, I get it. That is how it is right now. But things change. Now, whatever has happened over the last couple of days, hey, maybe just the fact that we've been back for the last 2 weeks. We've had 2 more weeks of training, 2 more weeks of Pep Linders, Colo being with the players, etc. And maybe they've decided, actually, we do need a bit more. But it does look like one way or the other, whether it be Rodrygo, whether it be Donnarumma, or who else it is, Manchester City are not done in this transfer window, right? And they mean business. Manchester City. Oh, and by the way, we've still got Ortega. So we need to actually work out what's going on with Ortega. So people, I guess my main question to you in the comments below is, do you think this has legs? Do you want Donnarumma? What happens to Ortega? What happens to Trafford? I guess we're going to find out in the next couple of days. People, please make sure you're liking the video, subscribing, and it's the road to 10K. So let's get us to 10K as quickly as possible. We will be back with more news soon. Peace.